Across the country, several cities had moments of silence and remembrance ceremonies to mark the shockwaves of that day 23 years ago when our country seemed to stand still. Planes hitting in New York, in a field in Pennsylvania, and at the Pentagon. And right down the road there at the Department of Justice building in Washington sat Southeast Texas attorney and prosecutor Brit Featherston.
Today, he recounted the memories of being there 23 years ago. He spoke with 12 News reporter Kayla Chote. She's here now to share his story.
Brenda Jordan, Brit Featherston tells me he was on the subway escalator in Washington, D.C. when a stranger told him the Twin Towers had been struck.
A blind person turned to me, he had headphones on, and he said somebody just drove a plane into a building in New York City.
Once at work in the U.S. Attorney's office inside the DOJ building, attorney Brit Featherston noticed everyone was glued to the TV.
Everybody was quiet watching, and then the second plane hit.
It was then that he and his co-workers understood the magnitude of the situation.
FBI and Department of Justice realized that this was not just an accident, this was an intentional act of terrorism. The reaction came fairly fast. We made our way over to the FBI building, and it was then that we were told other government buildings were being evacuated.
Once on the roof of the FBI building, he saw smoke
billowing from the area of the Pentagon.
Featherston recounted desperately trying to call his wife because they lived just blocks away from the Pentagon.
When the plane hit, she thought a bomb had just gone off because she saw the explosion. It shook the minivan that she was driving. She saw the debris coming down.
Once home on the 13th floor of their apartment, the power was out, but the skies burned bright.
We could look down onto the roof of the Pentagon and watch it burn. It actually burned for several days. The next several days, the streets were a ghost town, but you had military vehicles all over the streets of Washington, D.C.
Since that fateful day, Featherston says, security measures in America have drastically changed.
It really changed the course of law enforcement. It changed the course of the future of protecting the United States when that event happened.
Every year on 9/11, Featherston says he remembers the brave first responders who jumped into action to save lives and invites everyone in Southeast Texas to learn about the history of 9/11. In studio, Kayla Chote, 12 News.